Hi YouTubers, it's Steve Roberts again, coming from RuneScape. I think it's time to introduce my cat. Hello! This is Glow. She's a tuxedo cat, and she likes to jump on my lap all the time. She making appearances. But today, I'm going to continue from the previous video based off of wholeness, and answer maybe a question, what if you don't want to be whole? What if you don't mind suffering and you just want to live your life and it's just not something for you? What is a benefit of wholeness? What I'm going to talk about is what I'll refer to in future videos as the present moment. And the present moment does a lot of things. One main thing that the present moment, or a prerequisite for the present moment, is you have to be whole in that moment. You have to be whole. So, for example, what do most people think of when think of the present moment? So you'll see like internet memes being like, oh, well, if you live in the past, then that's guilt and regret. And if you live in the future, well, now you're being afraid or worried. So live in the present and be at peace because you're in the present. That's not what the present moment is. Well, that's not radical enough for RuneScape or for Rescape. The present moment is literally a time where you are still. You don't have to be still, but your mind has to be still. It's literally. It's not like you shut down your mind. You're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything with my mind. It's literally where it's just calm and you're just not doing anything with it. It just sits there and just pretty much just observes what's happening. And if you're moving while being in the present moment, the movements will generally be continual because you're going to be aware of yourself moving. So you're almost like moving with awareness. Well, you are moving with awareness. But anyway, that's a whole other video. But the present moment. When I learned the present moment, it took away an idea that was very destructive to my spiritual growth, and I see it pretty much everything I've read on about meditation will talk about how you sit still and you have monkey mind and like your thoughts go in your head and you just have to don't judge them or don't hold on to them, but just let them go and return to your center or something like that. The present moment, maintaining the present moment, you won't have thoughts. Like you have to work to the point where you're literally for minutes or a long time your mind is still. Now a lot of people aren't going to agree with that or not even think that's possible. But not thinking is a prerequisite for being in the present moment. There's a misconception I believe with the organ of the brain. It's like, what does the brain do? Well, it thinks. I think the brain was created or has a design to it that where thinking is not a primary function. The brain, the design of the brain very much is for perception to maintain a continual state of awareness. And that's exactly what the present moment is. And then the question becomes, well, why do people have trouble thinking all the time? And that'll be in a different video. But I don't believe that's a natural state of the human mind. I think in a spiritual friendlier environment, what you'll find is that you'll have people that will just maintain the present moment, just as normal mindset, and they'll think sometimes, and they use their mind when they need to, and if they don't need to think, then they don't, and they live their life that way. And I think that is normal, and that's what I'm working towards to be able to do that. Now you don't always want to be in the present moment, obviously, but this channel will hopefully be getting people to the point where they can just go right into the present moment, whatever they need to do it for whatever reason, no effort at all. I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm working on it, and I know people who can do that, and you can meditate without thinking. Like, it's very possible. As far as like, I hate hammering this home, but it really irritates me. Like if you're going on to climbing the mountain to enlightenment, if you can't stop thinking, like you haven't even packed to get in the car to drive to the mountain to start climbing. Like you have to know. There's certain things. Anyway, I don't know what else. Okay. So what's present moment good for? Well, if you read any of my writings, I do conversational pieces where I write down conversations I have with God. I can do that because I maintain the present moment. If you want to meet with God or interact with God, it's very, very easy to do that if you remain in the present moment. I would say that if you remain in the present moment long enough, you will start believing in God because God will be introducing himself to you. Now, you won't put the name God on it because of all the propaganda of just like, oh, God obviously you know, this, that, or the other, and so you won't really connect it with the consciousness you're going to start interacting with in the present moment. But then as you lay more like building blocks, like, okay, well, this is the characteristics of this consciousness, you know, and then as you add to that, and then someone can point out, oh wait, God has those characteristics, and you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. So that's one. It's good to relax your mind sometimes. I mean, I guess we do it when we sleep. For spiritual growth, when your mind is still, it allows the spirit to move, take control. So one reason I believe that aren't allowed, we've been conditioned to think all the time, is because as long as we're thinking and conceiving and being in places in the future or past, that makes it so our spirit won't fully express. So the present moment will move to erode that and replace that with a proper relationship between mind, spirit, and body. And I'll go into that more in future videos. But anyway, this video's gone on long enough. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. This is a very, very highlight of the present moment. Like, I really should be doing like a 2-hour video on this. People that watch this that actually know about the present moment, they're probably going to think I'm butchering it, and I'm really sorry. But basically, I just need to make sure that we're all on the same page when I start talking about it later. I don't have to re-explain all this, and then I can just add more to it as I go along. But appreciate you watching. Day 4. Thanks. Bye.